Chapter. And
so I'm going to run through the survey results real quick, just to give you guys, like, we can kind of wrap that into our activity today with the trails that we're going to do this morning. And this portal has everything from the survey to the discussion questions. You all have packets also, so you put up here, it's in the packet. Broken up into community events and festivals, then recreation programs and activities, and trails and sidewalks. So that's what we're asking next. And right now, and then things are your needs going to change. And blue again is increase, and then we ask them to prioritize that. So we see which parts of the city, downtown area, Heritage Park, etc., those types of parks, gardens and green space, downtown, and then we have some northern residential areas, and then leisure, and then public art, we see that being downtown, and sports fields and activities, Smithville Park, as well as near the high. Obviously, several different types of areas, so that's where the distributed recreation idea is coming from, or we really want to work that into the trail network today with you guys. And then this question was about the level of existing programming, and the red is showing their needs are falling short in programs, except for organized individual sports. That one kind of comes out 50-50, but we're seeing that most of these people think that their needs are falling short of what they want. This is 5 to 10 years after today. What do they see their needs being? Except for organized sports and organized team sports for adults, as well as senior activities and programs. So along with these survey results, we also have the discussion boards up, and those are currently running, so we're still gathering feedback on that piece, but I'm sure we'll touch base on those as we get more feedback on them. Recreation component, programming component, we're trying to think broadly about how these things apply to Smithville. And some of the big north-south dedicated trail, which I'm hoping to do with you guys today. And an increase or interest in sporting facilities near the school, which again we would like to explore building that these strong north-south, east-west connections, as well as a desire for leisure parks in north and south. So how can we get those programming opportunities from these boards here into the north and south portions of the city, and then indoor facility of some type. So with that,
we'll talk just a little bit about this map that we have over here, which is the distributed learning about the activities that are already in a particular park, or what we see as, let's see, so we've got playground symbols, we've got aquatics facility symbols, we've got nature, we've got fitness idea, and at Healthy Park we've got water activities, and it's more of a nature hike, bike, trail splash feature at Heritage Park, with some picnic and civic programming activities, and then of course Smithville Park at this point in time pretty much has a lot of opportunities, and that's going to be one of those really good broad conversations today. How do we best use activities that are distributed in really key areas of the city? We did look at them relative to the character areas that you would be familiar with from the comp plan, and Matt kindly. So the routes that are shown on this map are ones that we presented at the last Park and Rec meeting. And you know, we did have conversation about this strong north-south connection. Now that you can see the maps, we're all here in person. It's a great opportunity to ground truth them. Are there other avenues that we need to be looking at? For example, there's several things that I want to highlight that I want to be sure specifically that we talk about and discuss when we break out into our groups, but we know that there's connectivity and planned connectivity down commercial, but we know that there's challenges there with that as well. So we're looking at alternative routes.
What about Cedar Lake Estates? It's out west, I think. Go directly east of downtown. I mean west of downtown. See that yellow? Yeah, keep going right there. Yeah, that's Cedar Lake.
Yeah, I know Joel had that in his finance of our HOAs and everything like that, for
Oh,
that area in there.
yeah, okay, yeah, we do have some subdivisions that are highlighted on here now.
Yeah.
So you're saying, what about connectivity from this
Right.
area in?
Right.
Yeah, let's, those are some of the work things that we want to do tonight, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yes, for your
Is that a
reference,
marker or is that?
I couldn't hear well.
This one, yeah, so
That's what she's got on
that's
the
the
Zoom.
river, isn't it?
So, well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it follows the
I'll
river,
put it
then
in
go out.
YouTube.
Then go out to Cedar Lake. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, the dashed line is generally what the Metro Green Trail is doing or is planning on doing. We're still trying to track it down. At this point in time, it looks like Mark has, yeah,
prioritizes each trail length as a 1, 2, or 3 priority. We're still trying to figure out exactly what the 1 to 3 priority is in terms of timeline, so. Not sure about implementation time, but
are we?
we're investigating.
2050.
2015. Yeah.
So you'll see that dash line kind of cuts through downtown and it's very general, but that's the Riverwalk area. We definitely want to take a look at that. One of the ideas that we had explored when we had been here previously is a connection from one of the streets that dead ends in housing development across the river to Heritage Park. There are a couple, there's a cul-de-sac street and then there's a dead end street. So I want you guys to provide input there. If we were to provide a bridge, we'd have some really nice connectivity across Bridge Street, under the Riverwalk, utilizing Heritage Park and then back around. So
To show downtown, yeah.
I want to highlight that area. We're also looking at Helvey Park specifically, and this doesn't have the lines on it, but we've had conversations about the ability to go on the side of the lake and maybe get some easements to come a little bit more direct without having to go through the subdivision here. Ways that we can get through Helvey Park to Liberty. Let's see, moving north, we definitely want to ground truth this orange line that we've got indicated here. It makes sense to us, but you may have other ideas. And I know at our last meeting, there was a lot of conversation about subdivisions and ideas about connectivity that were really challenging to capture in the meeting, in the Zoom meeting. So I apologize if you feel like you're reiterating anything that you've shared with us previously. If it's not reflected on here, tonight's the night to do that. We've had along Highway 169. Are people going to need that connection piece, or do we have like a park and ride located at Diamond Crest? Am I missing anything? I think those were definitely some of the key areas that we wanted to discuss and have you work out, as well as any of the, the outlying areas. We don't have any connections currently west of Highway 169, to your point, other than the Metro Green Trail. Some of it is, crossing and access. Some of it is land use that's happening over there, although we know there are subdivisions. There's less mass, obviously. And there's markers, there's no colors that mean anything specific. We just ask that you label. If you have questions, you'll see that there's a blow up here so you can see maybe this connectivity from Maple Avenue to Heritage Park. Are there any questions?
I have a question on the service.
Sure.
What is the main way you're getting the notification out to people on it? You had 325 responses. First of all, that's my first question. Second is, what is the average per capita involvement in a community when you guys do this? How many responses are we gonna expect?
Yeah, the quick thing, I know when David and Future IQ did the comprehensive plan, they only got about, was it 300 to 500?
It was 300 to 500.
Yeah, and so I mean, the fact that we got 300 in just five days was pretty awesome,
Is this
so.
going out in like the billings?
No.
Or-
Next door, Facebook, text, email, Instagram, it's on all the I've had Brittany add it to links on the Instagram and every social
Facebook,
media we can. Our actual physical mail paper billings is actually pretty down right now. People are signing up for electronic billing and paying online. So I've been emailing and texting it to every person I know because a lot of people aren't on social media also, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because I haven't seen it. And that doesn't mean,
Email it to the board for the
No,
meeting tonight too?
No, I didn't, so that'd have been,
Yeah, I was gonna
I can say that, we have time, because we have, until March 12th to get it in, so I'll make sure I send that to you guys.
Yeah, and I know they just posted it next door because I got the notification about an hour ago.
It's been shared on like all of the major community pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
is this something you could put on the activity page for like the team sideline when people go into that?
Shoot an email to everyone. that
Yeah, we have.
Contact form.
Yeah, because we have a new website now.
So can you guys just do a mass email to all of our list?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we-
one of the ways that we did reach out with the comp plan,
Yeah.
was send emails to people who've been involved in the
Yeah.
various committees and the like, all of our boards and commission members.
Yeah,
That would be a
smart.
great idea, is
Yeah,
to create
that
an
would be.
email letting participants, anybody who signed up for any program, anybody that's a coach, kind of all of that,
Yeah.
could reach more people with a direct email that way.
Brittany, do one through bike ride too, to everyone who's ever attended any of our events.
Okay.
That gives you 400-ish. Yeah, I've been texting out to people and we chat, whatever, email.
Because Todd, you don't have Facebook, correct? If I remember right, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put on next door too.
So it's been live for how long?
Week.
Since Friday.
Last Friday,
Yeah.
a week. So, yeah, so 325 responses in a week time, that's better than we had on either the strategic planning survey or the comp plan survey for that period of time.
Direction Finder, we were happy when we got to 300, right?
Yes, Direction Finder, the goal was 425 citywide, and that's one that was mailed to people's residences. So
Nailed it.
this is a good, yeah.
I'll make sure you guys get that.
I was gonna ask how many people have seen it, so. Does it,
Well, I'm, from my perspective, the breakdown is pretty much what I've been hearing and what I feel as well, so I think it's a pretty decent sample size already, but I just didn't know how much involved we were expecting or whatnot, because.
Good question.
Usually David goes for 350 or so, so.
Yeah, I think the goal is.
The goal was 300, so to at least get 300.
yeah, I exceeded that.
We're there.
I think, yeah, he said it was like 300, and about 60% had completed the full survey.
Yeah, but the discussion boards are good feedback too, to go and we look at that too a lot. So, for the map exercise, you want us to stay up?
Damien, I'm sorry, 1 second also, I'm thinking about the discussion boards, I'm thinking down the road, we probably need to make sure that we email this board
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
the link to the discussion boards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna remind you guys of that yesterday when I talked to you about real.
I have a note here, I'll send the information out.
Yeah. And those, forward that to anyone, any of your contacts too, sorry.
Well, and the link to the website should have all the links to both the survey and discussion boards.
Direct links are easier for most people. Click and go.
Yeah.
For the mapping exercise, do you have parameter on next 10 years, next 20 years, next 30 years, or no parameter?
No priorities right now.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Your dream Smithville.
Would take a second right now. Does Heather have anything that she wants to say about the survey or?
Heather had really bad connection, so she got off Zoom, so she is watching only on,
YouTube.
and so she's, so Heather, if you can hear us, email Cynthia with any comments about the survey. And I will also email her here.
We need a YouTube chat.
She said she can hear much better on YouTube.
Excellent, I bet that is true, that's true. So, yes, I'm asking that, yes, that we have tentatively put down here, looking to have you all ground truth it, if there are systems that are recommended, like, as well, so that we know when we start prioritizing and we can put dollars to the mode, so. Yeah, I think one of the, so we want all trails to lead there and from there. With the river, dividing the city north-south. So how do we see that connection working the most efficiently and effectively?
I told the market board this week, if paint doesn't stop cars from hitting cyclists, so remember that. Paint some lines on the street doesn't stop them from hitting you, so.
No, that's right.
The lanes and curbside walks, yeah, separate.
Yeah.
But also, we don't want places that are unsafe where people don't feel comfortable running because it's through the woods. Most of it's Owens,
Owens.
yeah, so we have
So
easement.
this is the
We have
one,
easement.
it's not the ones here in town, right?
No,
It's not that one.
it's Preston.
Okay.
So we have trail easement across that from the subdivision development plan.
Very good.
That'll connect Maple Avenue, or not Maple, but yeah, but not the whole thing, it's just from this street south is what he lost. So this we have
Mark that on there.
Maybe just reminder.
So I got a quick question for everybody here, and this has been asked once before, and I just want to regional trails that then connect to each other to get north and south. What I mean by that is up north, around Diamond Crest, Lake Meadows and whatnot, how many people are going to traverse all that way up and down every day, but as opposed to around their neighborhood? And
Yeah,
then
so-
occasionally want to skip down to.
trade winds. We don't, the going along F Highway is not in our original design. That's something new because we have easement. That connects 5 subdivisions going to Eagle Heights, walkable schools.
Makes a loop.
Right, and yeah, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, that's what's gonna come out of this in the transportation master plan that we just awarded. It'll say, this year, we can put out for this much in grant, and this much in trail, and this much in transportation, and make those zoned improvements, but eventually it makes an artery throughout the whole city.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure.
We're gonna have to keep the elephant slow.
Okay.
Not every city's 15 miles long,
Exactly.
with only 10
A mile and a half wide?
Yeah. So it's only the south half of the road, is where she sold to, so we're right across here.
Yeah, that's middle section.
So you bring it in, because we do have a trail that goes right here too.
So the main thing is, any connections that we're missing, like are there
The other sad thing about that whole,
then
the
two,
whole other sad thing about all that
is
housing over
this
there, they just
orange
redid
one, what we
this 5
have
years
on
ago.
here, this is.
Where the elementary school is, this is the elementary school, right?
Is new.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Maple. So right here, all this, they redid all the roads 5 years ago, and they said, we can put in sidewalks.
Is this a sidewalk the whole way, because all of
They
this
pay
is
for it,
private?
about their cost, we're not putting sidewalks down.
Sidewalk.
Could have done it as an add-on, street redo, super cheap.
Well,
Coming down.
Joining the road.
Easy to walk.
I'd actually, the other thing is, this is Greyhawk, which is now going all the way to here. It'd be nice if we had a trail that went across here into this, or, extend that to the
That's an
property.
area where we have
There could be
Yeah.
some ways that it could.
Well, the road already extends down now, because they're putting in 67
We're not
miles.
widening the road.
Okay.
And those are the ones that developer agreements pay for that kind of stuff.
Just like along here.
Is that what you think?
But.
What comes on the backside of the line.
The speed is significantly different.
Not, yeah, that's like, that is not slow.
And then for the new Bridgeline Foundation, they have to do sidewalk all along the property too. It's another
And
day.
that's,
Yeah, create where that connects.
road, it's a property.
We don't have easements for it.
you know.
But yeah.
So you take it that's coming in.
It's a playground.
Playground.
It's one of those geometric playgrounds.
That connects
This
to
one
that.
right here, so it's gonna actually.
What about getting this to here?
That's an eventuality.
And would it be more likely to carry across, or would it come down this road?
Well, I guess it would be.
So this right here will
This is that
eventually come about,
That-
and we're gonna
And
make this
actually,
because this right
this
here
is
is
in the
Okay.
plan.
That's up by the
This,
line.
because this is
Yeah.
Eagle Heights.
Oh,
We're gonna round about that.
That winery is up
It's-
Very high.
Yeah, and
No,
we have
this
road
is,
from-
so
we
this
have-
is an area, so
we have
yeah, that
to do all this,
doesn't,
but
yeah,
it's
that
not
doesn't
enough.
connect, that would give.
So that would give us,
Okay.
we have a trail easement.
One thing I can-
But yeah.
There's only
here
a transportation
is
master plan too, where we even think about
schools have
widening
to be
the path going up through there.
We do have this
Oh,
park,
okay, we got it.
there is no islands and turn lanes.
So this is also, this part of Smith's Fork.
Replace the
Well,
need
this is
for
Smith
this?
Forest.
Or
Well,
in addition?
no, because this is, so right here, we're putting in a roundabout.
Dam.
Roundabout here.
This is
Right
not,
here.
well, there's no one right here, right saying.
and up in here,
That's
it's
already
not
paid
a
for.
place that is.
We're doing the engineering on it right now.
You wanna be.
And then eventually do roundabout there, roundabout there. So you
But
still
it's
want,
pretty much played
this
with.
road's gonna come through.
And so it is not a functioning trail for.
So this, you want still want
travel most of the time.
sidewalks, we've got this already.
That's-
Actually, my preference when I ride, because I live up here.
If you're biking, you were coming
I
all
come out
the way
here to here.
down, all the way back, to come to here.
And then I cut across here to here,
Getting you over the
and
road.
then come across this road and then
That
go
would
out
make
here.
that, especially for these.
Just stay off
roads
this
here, much
curve.
more
That curve
accessible,
sucks.
much more
On
useful.
the way.
Well, and I wondered, so I went walking
Is
this
it traffic?
the other day, like this
Yeah.
way back here.
Is that changing the
area? And there's like
needing to alter
a
this?
trail that comes right.
So, I mean, this is already sidewalk,
Like, it's not straight.
and this is all
There's a
residential,
little
so it's
spot
easier to
where
take
you
this
can walk
line
back
through
here and
here.
get back up to this. So I wondered, like.
Yeah, because this is where, so if you go here, this is there.
And I didn't know.
This is
we talked
the
about
one-
that
So you
today,
go-
that, like, we were
It's
talking
all
about
back-
it's
it's all-
all-
I kind of figured, yeah.
Like, we discussed
Well,
that.
no, it's gone, not just that up
Gone,
it's
it's all
gone.
residential.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought it up
And
is
then
we
across.
discussed possibly like eventually putting a bridge.
But also, you can also
across
hop right on this
back,
trail
back
here,
part of the
once
campground
that's-
over to that trail. And
So
I
getting
think
this
that's
little piece right here, the other thing I've been arguing with the county about, so
Okay.
this is gonna be done right here as part of the development agreement. This we could easily do, I want the county to do this, because they're trying to take trail through here.
On the other side of the.
They're trying to go across the golf course.
This is one, yeah, and this is.
They're trying to go across here.
Doesn't work with part of
But
it.
instead, they pay for this.
Thing, but this.
Is that
And then put it next.
And then the
So
bridge
this
now,
is
the one that.
That ditch is horrible, remember that goes
That
over.
they'll probably never do, but.
If we could fill that, and then have the county pay for it, that's gonna be part of the.
Use that little golf course right here, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Still like that.
Yes,
But, man,
It saves the county money, because they're trying to
And
keep using it over here on land.
this way, but there's not.
That makes sense.
Overpass trail.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I
It's
think
gonna hit.
20 feet up, 12.
That new-
So then where do you go after
Is it
you?
plenty?
Soccer field and everything else, so.
And then you just stay on the orange trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what
Well, I actually, when I run it, I come into, so yeah, this is Auburn, right, so I run this way, and then down.
Where we can't build anything up.
Because this has a huge shoulder on it.
What is it? the
Yeah.
Indian-
This is grade, full grade.
Yeah.
You can't build anything.
It's sidewalks and all, yeah, that whole thing needs to just be, this whole section needs to be done.
All the way around.
So-
Just the way to get across the game is a hard
I
part.
think we need to.
Yeah, like.
I mean, this is-
The orange line?
Because
Well, this is-
Yeah, yeah, that's
right.
Actually, what I would do,
To
this is what we
get
talked
a river
about.
walker
I would go
to
right
be
here,
able to take it up to
Straight
the
down.
straight down, and then bridge, and then straight down.
Like, what?
It's
This is this thing where me you and Joel walked, we got to the fence line, it was wide open, but
But I mean, it's something that if it's something that we
So here's one.
we talk
No,
about.
this is the new trail we just
The whole
built.
river walk thing.
This is
Yeah.
all the
Yep, Smithville.
Yeah, you still have this one too.
Essentially have.
But you put a bridge right here over the river,
Oh, yeah.
and then this takes you,
Don't
this takes all of the
maybe
city,
need this
city owned, no easement needed.
That was a- Well, the last few weeks has been snow covered, but it's built.
Yeah, that whole
Yeah.
part by Troutline's house, that just, all that sucks.
But it could also be.
Grade wise,
So then
Good to go, we're getting no
I would get rid of it.
Honestly,
Loops are what
you
people.
honestly don't need the bridge, if you got the there, you could just cross over to the.
Oh, yeah, go to the
to there,
spillway.
and then just take the spillway up to here.
Well, that's a high hill, I'm just talking about trying to get it flat. Because once you get there, those bridges will cheat.
I don't think it's right.
Can you- It'd be great. Sunset, trying to do that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not even-
So it's ours.
And then how about this?
Those fields, right now,
It's
they're
all ours,
just
too.
accessible for each individual.
But it's.
Yeah.
Slow. We need a trail. We can get up here.
Then you go the other way.
I
You
actually,
get
that
slow.
That could almost be like a trail
is
then.
this Smithville or is that Fort?
Housing.
Oh, right.
That's the racetrack.
That's, yeah, yep, so that's a good point.
Because they, what they have is like a little driveway.
I have a picture
but
of
there's
my
not
house.
really a
So
trail
is
there,
there,
but that's.
What kind of race?
property.
is there a way to?
It's
You can
just
see it, you can
knowing
still see it on
like
Google Maps.
They only thoroughbred racing.
But the river.
It was the Kansas City racetrack in Smithville.
We rescued a harness racer.
I have the, Yeah, I have original postcards from it in my shop.
Oh my gosh, I'm take a look at those.
You can see the cars parked in the parking lot.
Easier than having to come across.
Should we lost all the
So you said you'd rather go.
No, Frank's lot.
They're gonna have to.
Not do double sidewalks, we're actually changing our zone.
But they've got a permit
And we're actually gonna go to 5 foot minimum sidewalks.
They have their own stuff out there, but just up there is a beautiful. Like it's no connected. Yeah.
No.
So really it's just separated, like the water, like the river walk out that direction, and even if it doesn't come back, it's like, sometimes we people just.
This area
Separately,
is close to the river.
along with the river walk out here, so then they can actually take this, do the river walk. And it connects this whole area right here.
It'd be great for paintball.
Do you think we can go?
Well, this is a proposed Metro Green Trail, so why not go ahead?
I'd actually follow.
Go to Smithville, yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I love, if we get to the city limit, that would be
How many?
You know what, too, is you think bridge here, we have bridge here.
Or just have a trail along the river.
Just go along the river, stay on this side. You're north of the river.
The only fair we could is not be
funding
funding
options,
options.
so considering
Build a building,
this
you
is
got a
part of
problem.
the Kansas
People
City
live in
area, part of the proposed.
Well, we're already getting, yeah, so we already did,
It's coming out.
for that partial sidewalk that's going in.
Yeah, around, if you rounded out.
Those are two.
I'm just talking about, if you're looking at a bridge,
Yeah.
that's all, what there, it'd just be interesting to, it'd be
There's no-
interesting
there's no
to check.
I think that's one.
No, I'm on the board, there's
Okay.
Yes.
well, no, we'll put in projects, we're gonna put in projects every single year.
Building back this direction.
We got $1 million over the next 2 years for Mark.
These are already built, correct?
That's-
Those are already
And
built.
that's for
So I
Street
think
Phase
they're-
3 and commercial sidewalks to the high school.
Connect out to.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock to get through to get to,
Like
it's $500,000 plus to get the sidewalks from downtown to the high school.
Because if you got a connection from that housing authority over on the
Yeah,
west side
that's, I don't.
Here, Cedar Lake is
Yeah, no.
to connect to just downtown.
This is not.
That's not a good place to come out.
That's like a great
My thought was just, it's not.
There's only one problem, there's a big problem there.
What is it?
It's the property.
Yeah. But if you want to go here, oh, yeah, because the trail comes down. Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'll send you out there, Tom.
Right, that's very road to walk. People run it a lot, but.
How about from the backside?
Yeah.
And then I was gonna ask,
How about from the backside?
Shannon, so they have like a park playground
Oh,
area.
so
you're saying the Metro Green is
Cedar
gonna
Lake's
have
right- Yeah, like
Well-
Hardly
It's
we
the
have
same
our
land.
own, a lot of people do.
In this.
The county,
Is it the
the
same?
Black
I
County.
know that the neighborhood, it is.
But what about?
How do we connect?
Oh, along the river, I think it'd
It
be
is
easier
not
to put
city
the,
Along here, the river, but.
I really like
Both sides of that is
the
fine.
idea of here about Emerald Bridge.
me
Because
too.
Emerald Bridge is like very
You
centrally
could move more
located
here,
to like our
backside.
school
A lot of
and
rock.
business area, and
Oh,
town, like houses down there.
I mean,
But
if you can convince the landowner to give us either, Frank, and be good about
it's a
it.
nice little area,
What
kind of on
about
a hill.
north end of
Same landowner.
And I like the idea of a small walking trail
Bird love it.
and some updated playground. The playground equipment that's there, it was like OG legit playground equipment, I like it.
George is there.
Yeah, it's like the real.
You just said.
After a while, then you gotta like, it's like there and it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the idea of walking trails there, and I like the idea of.
Did you get our easement, did we have our easement over at your place?
Not yet, let's talk about
The
it.
Patterson house?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, we did.
I'm talking about Second Creek.
Oh, yeah, second
Yeah.
thing,
That
yeah.
property, I heard that.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
not
for
one
parking,
really
yeah. Did you
for-
figure out how big that is?
We have a lot of places to look at. Yeah.
No, I don't know exactly how big it
Great,
is.
right?
Yeah,
Half the lots,
maybe
we are not half in Pike County.
Gotcha.
in a radius around.
That's okay, we have part of Smithville,
Yeah.
Black County.
Would make some sense.
What actually we have it.
Yeah, I wish we could get some, like, a little more easement over there.
Oh.
Nice if they would've just built.
I wasn't sure like
We can.
No matter what, I mean.
I don't mind. Yeah, you can draw a line through there.
what makes the most sense.
Right along the road.
Is, anything that we
The
propose.
best way is gonna be to follow the road.
Where we put that 20 for basketball.
That's a question.
Yeah, so we have ball diamonds
We'll
here.
get-
We have
we'll get
soccer.
something
We
completed.
have more ball
Yep.
diamonds somewhere
Yeah,
else.
are you using that one back here?
Courts and tennis courts.
Actually, we are not.
They're already there.
If you
Oh,
don't mind
we're
that it's
sealing
still,
that out.
it's still getting baked.
What's
And
wrong?
that's my question.
Other than it's still getting baked.
Resources.
Just leave Matt, leave it.
Good history.
Ready.
That's what I want, it's the history, it's the beginning.
Excellent, I love it.
That's gonna hang in the museum for the next 50 years.
Right.
Oh, we didn't even put a little bit.
You gonna have a picture?
Oh,
You got a picture of me?
man.
Why we wanted to put
Talk
it.
about it.
So you're gonna have a picture of you.
Oh.
You can put it in the museum.
He's got one of my Persian toys in
There's
there.
kids up here, there's kids over here. They're all
Okay, so I still
doing it.
feel like
And
we're
that's
not,
an issue, I mean.
so then we're catching the Metro Green, we're gonna rely on the Metro Green to get us to downtown, we're just
Brown
trying
Park.
to use the trail system from north.
But, you gotta go to full.
I get it.
And,
I think we, so,
So, and then it is.
We're still-
We have,
The red
here, 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 and here.
existing trail.
oh, so,
This is.
yeah, so this is the red existing trail usually
This
downtown.
is the location.
Right.
So that still gets us to
So we're
downtown.
basing on, this is not location.
So this view is way better.
Well, it depends, like, the
So
problem
we
is
got-
that.
we got trail.
So you said this is not, this is what we're
There's no parking.
That's a good, that's a good
Right
alternative.
there.
Yeah, if you go straight, and then actually, we go down, actually, I go straight here.
More ball down
straight
here that we didn't use the last
Well,
couple years.
So you said that,
So you said that
section's
But having them everywhere.
would you just come in this?
Not
necessarily,
you still have to
go.
So this is the opportunity
I'm talking about right
to
here.
help us plan and figure out what
Go
makes
across
sense.
this
Yeah,
Are they distributed all
And
over
then
the
this is
places
the
where
Main Street
we're
Trail that's
going
up.
to
So
help?
that's a big
When you
trail.
talk about
Our
facility,
Right.
is it one location and?
No, no.
No.
Well, I mean, it's okay as long as you just like go straight and then you like
just
focus, right?
Well, there's plenty of sightlines. This one, these curves are the sightline stuff.
Well, that's, but when you.
And I can hit where it's on
So
our.
it needs to be a side.
What I'm saying is that it's indoor sports facility.
Well, actually,
Like
this needs to be
volleyball,
sidewalk right here too.
basketball, or
Sidewalk needs to be here.
pickleball, but like programming, like an indoor, like a multi-purpose facility. Almost a community.
Okay, well,
And I don't know, I don't necessarily disagree that we don't put a sidewalk there at some point.
And our newspaper's gonna be.
Because, I mean, that's an opportunity to get to the winery and stuff like that, so. we
Yeah,
still
I
want-
think that's the reason.
Question.
Yeah, I mean, we still want to have that.
How
it's
much?
just-
Yeah, I'd like to have a trail.
Talk about it.
I mean,
For
yeah.
300 years.
Yeah, at some
I
point.
know that's
We got
like-
300 people.
But yeah.
Literally, they combined to send.
Until it's roundabout, that's
Festival,
really nice.
because they did not have enough girls going out for it.
Now, if he's gonna.
What is that looking like as far as our?
This year's like I say, because our numbers were different with COVID, we had outstanding the registrations for this year's basketball, but
12,
we know we
16
have
hours
COVID
a week.
not in Smithville, so I am not gonna.
Very
for that.
stupid.
Yeah, and we have to make people come. I'm just asking
And
because.
you could, I know for our younger age,
No, I'm all for
it
getting
would
more
grow much
connected,
more,
but
because, for those younger divisions, we use
Yes,
really all
that
the
has to be
players
priority.
give us, and we were full. So one more team we wouldn't have to turn away for the
Yeah,
younger.
I'd rather
But, is
connect
that,
them
and
in
we're
once
going
you
to
get,
do like
like,
that,
connected it
yeah.
and, oh,
Yeah.
100%.
But I think also considering a sports complex.
Once you get that roundabout,
and
and
making
get
sure
close to Sturr Street,
the great idea
and
for
the
the
winery. Because
They
the
were
other
really
thing,
fall.
like, this right
So
here
we
should
think
all.
that's going to be
Yeah,
our
sidewalk.
park. So not
Yeah,
necessarily,
walkable.
saying
So
we
there's
need
a
more
sidewalk
baseball
for all
fields,
access
more
there.
baseball fields, and have a clover, right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it make sense to have a baseball clover somewhere instead of on how it is with more parking? And
If
then
you put sidewalk here
park.
too, and then eventually next year, and this all becomes walkable.
Well, it's.
And we can trail that because that's plenty of highway,
City.
plenty of highway right away there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
It's not pleasant.
it's nice, but at the same time, everything's
Once you're
gonna
like-
finish. There are sidewalks.
You're out of the streetlight, which is nice, because they put, you could build a trail to take you off the road and still have a 10-foot easement.
So, you know, you have
You
all
just
that
got the columns in front of the church,
investment
where it's pretty steep.
for, this month we're playing football and everything
And
else.
then there's another,
And then a little
this
bit
is the
later,
other subdivision over
we
here.
have baseball, and the football fields are idle, still maintained.
Right here, we just access
And
them,
just, yeah,
or no, actually right here,
I don't know, I just,
so.
And we are gonna get rid
And then
of.
Herzog's putting it, so this is like Herzog stuff.
So,
This will
in
never
terms
be
of
able to trail very
connectivity,
well.
you know.
This right here,
yeah,
it's all out of city limits. This road's out of city
You
limits.
know, if this is
When we go to get that in city limits,
targeted as the
we have to
central
annex
park
this and this.
that people want to see here in terms the
This guy, you know, just,
recreation.
well, this is all
And now,
sides of it, they're not gonna build it.
Well,
Well,
like,
this
yeah,
subdivision should require two years, we didn't change
Yeah.
I think that'd be
it.
great.
Now every house anywhere in the city doesn't
I
have.
know it's already
half
Sidewalk
of these right
in
now.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Healthy Lake has a lot of potential for a lot of
Do
things
we have?
that we don't
So what about getting
have,
money
or
from
that could be like
southern activity?
super accessible where
Well,
maybe
here's the
lake
thing.
isn't for everybody.
Mhm.
Forest Oaks,
I think I
where the
would
new sewer
love
line,
to
that's why I
see
call it
a
sewer, right?
wheelchair accessible.
You gotta get
fishing
secured
spot.
or pump station.
Like, there's a dock that goes out there,
Lots of
kind of like,
right now, just trying to get easy.
is it Crow's Creek?
And that's
Up here
underground.
on this area, they've got like
Try to
a
put
floating
trails.
dock that like you can get out on, that's
They're
like,
all
I
like
think it's right, but like, you
sewer.
should want something a little more secure than that for someone in a wheelchair, but.
Does
There's a
it
dock
want
that
red
goes out
kids,
there.
rabbit kids, or just
I think
they don't want
we
anything?
could do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I like.
That'd be something that would be an option. Possibly so, yeah. I feel like it would be really
So
cool.
it'd be easier, the best thing to be.
Or, you know,
This guy.
ways to move it,
132nd, yeah.
water is being proposed.
Please.
here.
Well, Kansas City does this, which Councilman
Oh,
Fowler.
down in Lake Remote.
Sheriff
For
Hagan,
helping
we're not getting that as
It's
a
actually one of the
good.
main reasons I'm here. is
Yeah.
Because I was coming.
Because the Woodland Trail's gonna come up to here, right?
Someone proposed,
Woodland.
I can inflatable water
So,
park
yeah, if it
there.
came up to
I
here.
talked to the mayor, and Mac.
We came up here.
It goes up and
And,
follows.
yeah, it's basically an
Oh,
inflatable water
that's
park.
it, so
so
it's
it's along
here,
there.
no worries.
I know it's a reserved water, so I never know how much.
It turn- goes down.
Right.
Wait,
There's always.
no,
Yeah, right.
you go straight down, and you
That's the
drop
one thing that we've
down,
had.
and there's
Sure,
And no,
yeah,
we
these
just-
are probably worse.
So I would take the trail.
Probably worse than the.
Absolutely, it's as much as anything though about water levels, we have to take it down.
Here's one Liberty
So
Trail
we all
here.
have to treat it.
Not really ever take all the way down, that's Liberty.
And I realized that.
Yes, because this is the back way you would make it, come down here,
Topography.
take Tillman, left, and then just pop on to Liberty.
There are really nice hills.
No, this is-
right
this is
south
south
of
of
there
there.
that.
Yeah.
Liberty's right here.
No, this is where the
Animal
street,
people, everything else related.
that road right there,
And
it
if
goes
you
all the
go
way
up the
through,
hill,
and there's.
you don't really
Where
come
am I?
over, sorry.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
out
no,
there.
no, it's not out there.
Kind of comes through some of these places is what is the topography like, and it might be.
Okay, yes.
This
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
good,
yeah.
but it's
Just get those down.
set up to.
Yeah.
Because this is our, the problem is out the area, so we'll have,
And it looks like where the phone poles are set, and there's easements.
so anything inside the telephone pole
So I
is.
wanted it to be.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So, but we could get this,
You have other
thing is
reasons
to
looking
make
at
this.
the property.
Yeah.
But it's like this right here, topography of this right here is nasty.
Yeah, down it is.
It goes up and down.
And then this is pretty flat.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Here.
And so,
I mean, it's
look at
better
the
road.
roads on the map, they look
Yeah,
like
It's
it's
not
really
as
nice.
falls down the hill, it was where.
It's hard to highlight.
Like I said,
Sure.
this is a hiking trail that you have to.
So
walk
you go out-
Then you come up and down it.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
that's
that's
Tillman,
the-
then this is
Whereas
Tillman.
this over
That's
here
it.
has been flattened
I
out.
would- because some of these are much
Yeah,
improvement
it's so
anyway.
much that you just cruise
So when
around.
we go to build that, we just tear it
Same
all
with
out.
the roads, for the most part, they're gonna be longer and flatter.
So look at all this.
Connectivity wise, I know that this trail isn't ideal, but this part that goes out to where like.
For me.
Well, I mean, it's
And
gonna
that's a half a mile
There's
radius
an
of
awesome
every.
spot, we could also
Yeah,
be, I
yeah.
don't know where.
Half
that-
mile,
For the 10-year, like you're.
Half mile, 1 mile.
But it would also be a really.
And then also residential was pretty much
We have a
planned,
window or something like that. I don't know
I
what to
think
think
that also
Or
gives
like what
more,
rock it looks like.
even on a river right here, I think it gives more to that.
But the thing is that the school
And the
district,
fishing rack
which
is
I
really
hope they're
great,
changing their mind,
and
they're
that
fine with
place
it, you know,
for
big.
that,
Here?
getting wheelchair back there though.
Because that's where all the houses are
There's
going.
no way, there's no way.
There's no houses
Yes,
right
sir.
Yeah.
All the houses are
All
going.
houses.
This is,
I mean,
this is gonna be 550 houses.
I always ran this one over
Who's
here.
that?
The times I've ever been up in there, just.
That was a discussion
Got your
there.
neighbors wouldn't walk the curb.
Oh,
It's a beautiful.
No, this is a lot of,
Really hilly, but it's really nice. We use it.
this is Scott's house, and they're bringing the water.
So,
And this is
I mean,
220.
but yeah, there's a lake out there, a lot of
I think
people
it's gonna be
fish it,
300
there's some
houses.
really great.
When's he kicking that off?
Forest Oaks built out.
So we have a big discussion Tuesday.
And now that it's done, because it doesn't look like 5 minutes, but it looks great. The fire pit,
Going down
it
to
looks
Wizzy,
so
but this
good.
is-
Oh, I have seen pictures of that.
This
It's
is-
beautiful.
this is-
My son and I, we actually went out the other day,
this is-
and set it up the fire pit,
So
and
we-
then he put it around, and I sat. and
Everything else, we
listened
can
to
make a little.
But it's beautiful
Pay
out
for
there.
it.
But it would
But the road
also
needs
be a
to
good
be-
area for.
And
some
then-
You've done
people.
well. It's been redone. a few
Look at that
times.
side.
Like having
What's
the
that?
possibility and
What's that
expansion
estimate
to
on that?
the Parks and Rec.
He's supposed to bring it back to
A
planning
little
and zoning
rental
this year.
space for something.
Because this is all commercial. and
Whether for
But this is all
paddleboards
thought out.
or
The
fishing
action
equipment or, I don't
That's
know
not
what we have in mind, but I would agree with it.
We
One
will
of the
get one
things we are
built.
planning right now.
This is fine. So yes, we will, as these get developed, with the development agreements, we'll have to put it in the trailer.
For,
This is gonna be industrial.
because,
Yeah.
expand the water treatment plant.
So this is the mill downtown then. So we're coming in this way.
So that building will be expanded
Yeah.
to accommodate
Street
access,
access.
but this area.
The
will
Riverwalk
be
goes
someplace
under bridge.
for,
Yeah.
and
It is
actually, that.
So we've got,
And that's what connects us
What
up.
restaurant is
And that'll
that?
come through from here too.
That honestly would be floating. But we'd be able to do like kind of a,
Housing authority.
I know we talked about possibly putting,
Oh, that's easy, that's
like
fine.
concessions.
But yeah, so we come in on the backside
Like-
of Frank Long, because they own the land right next to the museum. So we come across- They want to go across that.
to do what?
Just get access.
But then you would have, you'd have access,
We'd have to do-
you could do something.
Yeah. About the
So
hill.
then,
we'd have to bridge
And people think that
here, maybe.
makes sense from here.
And what
But like
about you?
doing just a little like,
Yeah, I'd like to see
almost,
one here.
there's a place down
You
in
get the
South
housing
Missouri
authority.
where
And this
a
is
lot of
all
people go
housing
over.
authority, right?
And it's
So-
literally just,
Does
this make sense?
kind of like Sonic, like,
Right next to
going
you,
just
go
one with their
across this
seating,
road
it's like a
there.
certain kind of thing.
That's all.
And
Because there's
it's a
trailer
really
here,
great
right?
little restaurant that a lot of people like, they do this.
You can come down this road here,
But
jump into
if there was a
that.
rental spot there too, it also.
Yeah, if you,
I know
yeah,
that-
we would like to round out that and then come across.
That's just it.
The problem is we abandoned that.
So does that,
Which one?
is this,
How,
so does it happen at this cul-de-sac or does it happen at this is kind of a.
I know there's a
Yeah,
last
yeah,
meeting,
yeah.
we were kind of building for, like, we're not gonna go with that
Yeah,
out
if you could
there,
do-
but I didn't know that that was a possibility that was in. It would be nice.
Yeah, so,
Well, yeah, we didn't, well, not, that we don't have water access, though.
No.
but that's just it.
Yeah,
If
there's-
we can
there's
get
access.
an
This is
agreement
pretty
with
steep,
a even
though.
floating
This is-
launch or a launch right here that would support that,
Or even coming on across.
that would
Just depends on.
bring
This is big
people.
dreams, plug it in.
Yeah, this honestly, like a floating lawn
It's
chair.
right here, it's gotta be close.
This so we don't even,
This
like,
is
Yeah, coming in.
this we rent, like,
This right
from the
here.
course, this would be 100% the core.
I get that.
But yeah,
I'm
that was
saying
just-
that it doesn't even need to be high.
That's about this.
Well, exactly, but then if you have a business doing this here, they can show
They
up
have access there.
very quickly and
Because-
easily.
Because you've got,
South of the
if you're
hospital, or
close
north of
to
the
the
hospital.
trail,
Yeah.
that
This
crosses
is the,
over the core
This is
trail.
where they just turned it off. This is where.
Oh, yeah,
But if you're doing a
Yeah.
pedal or boat,
And you gotta do it on-
you're gonna need to show.
You're gonna need to show, right.
And so, but it needs to be close to that, and, you know,
Yeah, what
that's
you're
the
saying
problem.
about
that
that, why is
is
this-
that you kind of have to bring.
Is there a bike lane already?
If you
Not
don't.
on that
or
part.
there's
There is
nothing
from
around,
90 feet north,
or by people
90
that
feet.
don't have it.
My question
Yeah,
is,
it's south of 92 is enhanced curve.
I know the new bridge at Amory, because it goes.
And by having it here, it supports lane.
Oh, yeah.
We're not out here on Post Street, where you gotta be away from town.
This is a river, and, well, and several things that you've got, I mean, you've got this, that then connects it to downtown, and people want.
And they come through here. They gotta drive.
Yeah.
Right, no, exactly.
This is been going on, and it's been sure the river has a pedestrian.
Yeah, we did that.
The bike has just all.
This is a nasty place to go
That's
to
a
because of how it's construction is going to go.
Okay.
You know.
I thought it was a 6 this whole time.
I was saying, I thought-
Jeff questioned me on it, you went.
How we built from the 8 to the trails back.
It just, it looks, it's crammed in, so it just.
Because you got walls like you said.
Yeah, you got
The
walls.
sports stuff we have here that gets us right somewhere else. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
Well, the more
They can take
uses,
pictures.
the more uses you have for something
So let's-
like parking lots.
What about from here to
And
here?
everything else,
And-
the
and-
better,
It's the best.
the better the upkeep, the easier the upkeep and everything else. And so, you know,
If we widen,
That's so,
that's why I like down to this facility that's gonna be put here.
Well, and over here, this is the new higher, yeah, she said, she wants to
Probably
probably,
the
so.
What is this?
this is along the creek,
That's
that's
that white-
the little
Right.
project that's like.
Oh, okay, I was like,
And
what is that? I don't know what this is.
then this.
I didn't realize they had all that.
But this is going to 4 lanes.
Okay, so
At that time.
yeah, scary.
They're doing $7 project.
So,
They just-
they're like, look that way.
We're doing this.
I think it's-
They're wide, they're doing that.
Is that all the way?
Yeah.
And the parking rental place for all the stuff.
For that first roundabout, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure
New.
New.
That's a long drive
7.7,
around.
it's 7777777.
Yeah, well, because you
We sent a lot of people to Coney.
And then you've got the.
Well, Coney has a lot of people over.
Right.
On top of it.
Exactly,
yeah, not having to.
Another
Right,
issue, when we were
right.
talking to
But it gives us a
Person
Yeah,
filter.
for sure.
that runs the trucking, and she was saying
I'm
how,
sure this is better for them.
the hard thing is you gotta go all the way out to, well, you got 435, and you cut across, it's not good.
And like you said, we have multiple purposes for it. If we had kayaks here,
I was,
then
yeah, I
we
was
could
going
use
through.
kayaks at Healthy.
Right.
We use kayaks if we wanted to do
Yeah.
them from here to end up at Heritage Park somehow.
They could just, shuttle.
Yeah, my brother sent me to look at a truck.
And, you know, if they.
I drove that way, it's beautiful, but I.
Be a quick turnaround.
Yeah, 5 corner drag.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They used to do like a
This, when this project goes, this will drop the, this project.
That kind of thing.
You're actually
Yeah,
dropping
they have
this
something like that
down a
here
couple
to
feet.
go along the
basically.
river.
That would be awesome.
It would definitely be something like,
And it's
they would
amazing,
do that in the
drive
day,
down
we look at like.
earlier
parks,
stages
drive that.
of the, and again, the parking would be supporting whatever the field or that parkway they're going out. What use is that?
Well, you had,
When they just started putting in the new lanes and you were still on the old road, it was like, oh my God, no, that's
Just
so road places, I see these nice flats, you know.
That's kind of like Eagle Park.
absolutely,
That's
around
kind
the
of
storefront,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
People to do it.
What is this space right here?
The soil underneath,
Mhm.
we got all that clay.
Part of that's for property too.
My whole subdivision.
Roads in the city.
The roads happen there, so they have.
Well, actually, the roads are
It's
put
not
in
wrong.
93, I think.
So,
somebody
how
told me.
old is this?
But they
Is that
didn't
four,
they only have one
big
house on
field
it.
right there next to Buzzards.
There is
I thought it belonged to that
All
family.
right, so
Yeah, I
there's
think
some
it's
that's
big.
for property and then there's some that's private.
Except for the John
Look at it,
Stoller
and then
basketball
like,
facility.
right
That'd be
here.
like 20 plus.
Oh, 20 plus.
Yeah, because it looks like, there's like a maintenance place in back here, is that more
Oh,
maintenance?
basketball.
And I'm pretty sure that like this whole area over there is there, there's a sign, they have a sign in here that has for property lines, I'm pretty sure they don't make that.
It's a hotel, hotels come along probably.
Haven't figured out?
Well, hotels are here too. They're gonna wanna annex in once they figure out we got this 20 plus basketball court.
Yeah, right here.
We're gonna have all tournaments in around the region.
Well, this part, so part of this part.
See the, soccer complex we're just putting in on 152.
Like any place you can make a.
This is where we have
This
subdivision.
actually is like they have a drive here, and this is a
Can
dog.
you do that gate?
Yes, this is a dog.
Okay.
You just pull in, so you pull right there opposite. There's that right here. Yeah, that's a right, right, because we were talking about.
There's 32 now. Got back.
Yeah, this one's mostly just gravel though, but this trail, like you get on it, it's a really short jog just to get back to
People
here.
are actually cutting the grass corner right there, that's on the right. So we just, that's why I asked, it's actually not connected to the.
They're in the current hotel.
It's also court, like.
They don't sell drugs
We're
out
talking about doing,
It's private. But yeah, that would be all court, like to do that. But there is access, there will be access to this trail.
I've ridden this, and yeah, once you get in there, especially if you got 4 or 5.
That's all we're doing.
Sure, it's
One building.
This is like-
Hard wall, separate desks.
And then like, there's also.
But that's what they're fighting over.
All right, well, we got a loop here, we got a loop here.
Traditional farm there. You can be or part of it, say to say branded or.
And then,
Parker Lake
is this
is kind of-
Diamond Crest,
Cool.
right?
Well, I tell you,
That is time for
that's one of the big problems of being this close to everything and not having any place to put your gloves.
Oh, that,
This is going out by the airport.
So I do know the Diamond Crest.
That's not there right here.
Right, that's correct, but this is the piece that's the millions and this is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right?
Is there-
Area.
So, why did we
Just
just,
south of Smithville Park.
why not?
Oh, that's
come
great.
around
This
the
is great.
curve come up?
Oh, that,
Because you're ready to site, well, you could have.
Corridor
site
was a little flat.
or
yeah,
anything.
this is,
That
well,
is
yeah, this
still
is,
in this
That's,
area.
yeah.
this is probably what you, then there's a
Like, we
subdivision.
have to widen it.
Yeah,
That's
this is
under
this is
the,
all for.
Because you gotta build a trail anyway.
Yeah.
This is part of the
yeah,
application,
but
yes.
this comes in back behind the easements between the
Yeah, these
houses, as opposed to on this road, that like she said, you talk about topography.
Yeah, I feel like that's a safer, I would do this,
We got this whole road right
I have a
here.
friend who runs that, and I'm like, in fear for her life all the time.
And this whole thing was,
That's
that's,
very good, yeah.
we just annexed that in.
Is
Yeah,
there,
because
did I remember right?
my daughter had a friend
It's
over
gonna
there,
be a-
there's no way of getting here.
No, I'm sorry, the
Sorry,
Marine
sorry. Is it
boat
gonna be
sale
around
tax
about-
on
I don't know.
How far out of town?
We don't have one planned there. Okay,
It's
I
just
thought
like-
you were making a lot of sense. That's conversations with one either
No.
here or here.
There's no town.
Oh, look, it's here.
Yeah, there's nothing in the plans right now.
Yeah. Man, that's so, it seems so far out.
Well, I'm up here.
Yeah, this far out, we have to drive.
What about this,
John's up here.
That's Rock Creek, right?
yeah, Catholic
Or
Church?
is
This has low density, this is gated density.
Oh, this is-
We get options.
There's like 6
This is
houses.
where, okay,
This is
where
Church, Victoria.
church and then,
There's Victoria.
horizontal.
So this particular subdivision,
Yes.
Victoria is
We
over
aren't
here.
missing anything.
Well, I'm a little, I'm the guy with.
All right, we're on our agenda here, we're right on time, which is great.
where is the youth
I-
expansion in this town?
Feel like what I've heard over here is very different from what I've heard over here, which is also great. Is there, does this table have one big idea, one top priority concept that they want to communicate to
Same thing we
Because that's really the,
Because the,
that's some connectivity there, and safe connectivity.
so what they're doing the trail down along Smith's Fork, it's a prettier ride anyway. There's future easement this direction, maybe consider just sidewalk. Well, since they took all one big, really good idea, what's your one
like you're
big,
talking
really
about
good
this
idea?
Yeah.
Was there one big one?
Yeah,
Was
that's
there
exactly
two
what
out?
that one looks like.
So what is there, one big, really good idea there?
Well, down, and
Did you do anything at Smith's Fork?
Yeah, we came across it.
No, did you? We stayed on the agenda with the trail.
Oh, we went all over the place.
Okay, adding the trails to everything that we could possibly do, which is very good, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. I want to take just a few minutes to have Matt share because the discussion boards have brought up the community center aquatics facility a number of times. And that is a theme that's, I think, from your comp plan conversations, you know, all the way through meeting where the pool committee did their study, feasibility.
Yeah, you guys want to just stand here? So Cynthia and I did a deep dive the other day to look, because I had known about the history that the city of Smithville did a pool evaluation back in 2013, because of the same result. They were doing a master plan, they're talking about different things they needed here at the community. The pool was a top priority. So they brought somebody, and some of these things that came about, was, you know, how do they distinguish what HOAs have, what the surrounding communities have already, how far away are they, what are people traveling to do. Back in 2013, there was 4 subdivisions in Smithville that had pools by the HOAs. Plattsburgh had built a pool for about $1 million on land that was donated. The pool in Platte County was built in 1964 and was nearing the end of its plan. And then they also had the YMCA in 2013 already in Platte County that had an 8-lane competitive pool.
Isn't Platte City's pool filled in now?
Yeah, Platte City's pool. When looking at that, it would have to have been a half-cent sales, and then they were looking at different partnerships, either with the school district and even the county. Basically, what came out of that is then they brought their recommendation to the Board of Aldermen at the time, and when looking at the available funds and projected cost, in the opinion of the community at the time, it was not financially feasible to move forward with the goal that they had in mind. They did bring it to the board still with the recommendations, but in the end, the pool value we handled with the expenses, so the committee agreed that they recommend not proceeding at the time.
So when they said, I don't know if you can extrapolate that from this, but when they said that, you know, they didn't have the revenue, is that in the revenue minus the half-cent sales tax? They're talking about existing revenue, or they have the revenue if they had done the sales tax?
I think they were saying they weren't going to have the revenue if they had the sales tax.
Well, why do they recommend that sales tax? Then? What would that cover the cost?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the parameters they put in there is, what if we did an half-cent sales tax? What would it look like? Which today, even if you look at our half-cent we just did versus operating expense, it doesn't cover.
So the HOA pools and all that were based on what was happening in 2013 when the study was done,
Yeah.
and now how's that different?
Same. We
Is
still have
it the
three.
same?
Yep.
Now, since that point in 2018, we worked with the Y.
And that's what you guys have.
Cedar Lakes that have the pools. And Rollins have
Rollins Landing.
Very small pool.
Yeah.
Rollins has a pool.
I think they pay for a lot. They pay for a lot, but some of their residents have pools.
Okay. No, I just knew,
yeah.
I know like when a subdivision goes in, they either have to donate, what, green space or cash?
We go for cash.
Yeah, and with the YMCA study, they did a feasibility study.
Help us through the projects we need.
YMCA brought in to do a feasibility study on what it'd be like to have a community center in Smithville. I think the big takeaway that you guys would find most important would be just the financial cost of what that looks like. For what the deed is for indoor, outdoor pool plus community center, just to kind of have it there.
So this would be,
The best of the best. Yeah.
what does the Y cover?
The Y cover, so basically,
What is their?
yeah, short course, so we build it, they run
That's what I'm
it.
asking.
They run
What?
it.
Yeah, they run it.
And if you note on that, there's.
A loss for
they
the
would-
first 5.
The
yeah.
first couple of years, they need a subsidy,
Yeah.
$1 million subsidy.
I think it was for the first 5 years, if
Yeah.
not more.
And if you look at what, and luckily, we've got Brittany here who has opened and operated a community center in a nearby community. She's
Without the
lived it
YMCA.
on the negative, and it's been there a bit.
I do want to say, the city as a whole and our department are not against the community center, but I think looking at the survey results that came in, we can't kick it to the side. If it's something that is possible in 10 years, that's put something in this plan that can get us there
Yeah.
to that point, because the results that are coming in of the write-ins are overwhelming. People want it. So, the first thing to do is plan to do it, put it on the ballot, and see in 4 years if we can plan to gain that financial funds to.
Yeah, my recommendation for the plan is for us to put actual hard targets and SMART goals that say, we hit this amount, then we look at doing something on the ballot. Because at the current state, when we looked at property tax alone, it'd have to triple the city portion to get it to be where we can afford it.
Yeah, and
And
because
then
looking at,
too, it's affording the construction, but then we have a staff of 5.
If we can get land.
You gotta have the
Yeah.
land to build it on, you gotta be able to build it, you gotta staff it, and then you have to maintain it. And the first few years of maintenance is one thing, but then when HVAC units start going out because you've got to heat and cool a building that's full of water and all of the pipes and everything related to that.
So,
No, it is a costly endeavor.
Sure. Have we looked at any of the revenue that comes from it and the revenue that's going out of the town right now because we don't have it though?
Well,
As far as just knowing what.
That's the feasibility
It's on
study
here.
that revenue is
Yeah.
based on, because that's they keep the memberships.
yeah, the feasibility study actually looked at number of people who currently have gym memberships and where they're spending in other places.
I can send you guys the full,
It's in the
full
documents.
report, yeah, it's about like a 35, 40 page thing, so I don't want to print it all out.
so are there non-Y options?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Brittany was doing in Excelsior.
That's what Excelsior Springs did.
So they did that in Accessory Springs, steal your story, but yeah, they had a group come together for about 10 years to start funding it. They put it on the ballot, got it passed, and then it had 3 or 4 years before they even got it built and funded, but they were getting, independent donors, community donations, and everything like that to be put into it. And they were also on school district property, so they're next to the school district.
Yeah, if you look at North Kansas,
Tell me what you need and I'm yours. That I will make happen.
if you look at North Kansas City, if you look at Excelsior Springs, they had strong partnerships with the school district.
Gladstone also.
North Kansas, Gladstone I meant. Gladstone it has North Kansas City School District in the building.
Yeah.
It's there.
Gotcha.
If you want to bird dog that with the school board, go for it. I beat my head against that brick wall for the last 2 years.
You just know from experience, they're not.
One of the
What's your
things
name on
that
the
has been brought up to us administratively is their concern financially and financing it and how something like that would fit into their current debt structure.
Yep, sure. And their current capital improvement plan.
Right.
Because they just did their capital improvement plan for the next 20 years, and community center really didn't come up in their meetings. Pool didn't really come up in their meetings to the level of locker rooms for football and
Sure.
baseball facilities,
Yeah.
and classrooms and
So-
libraries.
When you talk about a pool, are we talking about a pool and an entire rec complex? Or are you talking about there's different variations that could be done? What is the interest showing? What do people, I mean, people probably want everything, I'm
It's all
sure.
over, it's all over the board about feasibility. Because when we did the YMCA feasibility study, they called people and they wanted to talk to, was it 250 or something, actual phone calls?
Yeah.
I know people that took the survey, and if you called and you said, hey, they were looking for a certain demographic to hit at each level, and those calls were 45 minutes to an hour, and they drilled into a lot of different things. And if you look through the study, it has a lot of it. It's got daycare, it's got adult activities, it's got kids stuff, it's got everything that a YMCA could ever offer and what our interest is. And these are the financials of it, this is the truth of it. But what I'd love to see, and just like you did with the dog park, Danny, and again, a dog park's $15,000 with a fence, took you 4 years.
Yeah.
Pull together a group, and I know Plumker already started the Facebook group years ago, but really it's gotta be tied to SMART goals that are saying, we're gonna get $3 million donors like Excelsior Springs did. They got $3 million handed to them.
To me,
They got a mill rate that's a lot higher than ours. They've got a sales
the thing
tax.
that's important, and like this is kind of my philosophy as far as like park stuff goes, or as far as like big, so if we're going to do it, it needs to be funded. The same with the dog park, that was my goal at the beginning, was we didn't actually end up raising any money for it because Clay Penny was like, no, we got this. But the goal was, we have dogs, we want to use it, let us help pay for it, and like we had people committed to like putting money into that. And so I'm like, if we have people who really, really, really want a pool, you're willing to pay for it, and the people who don't care about a pool, they're not willing to pay for it. So if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, and if
And put
you
your time into it, and put your energy into it, and not just complain about it everywhere that we don't have.
Yeah, so I do, so going forward with the master plan though, I think we are talking with Chris and her team and David to make sure we have that language in there and set those goals going forward, so.
Because that's the thing is, if you look at ones that have been built successfully, and the reason we really like the idea of the school district leveraging it, the school district's taxing entity is 100 square miles. School district area, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of people that want a community center, but those people don't pay taxes into Smithville.
Yeah.
They pay it into the school district. They pay it into Clay County. Clay County would be a great partnership too, right? Platte County, that's why the both Ys in Platte County are Platte County YMCA's, not Platte City and Parkville YMCA's.
Is there anything, I don't know, I'm never over in Liberty.
Liberty
Like, that's a
It's the
county
Liberty
Nope.
Community Center, and it's attached to one of their
They're
middle
third grade,
school.
yeah.
And is it, but is it a county thing or is it a city thing?
No, it is a
City.
city thing, and
City and
it
school.
has an indoor and an outdoor pool.
They have one
And
basketball
they
court
fund-
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
yeah,
small.
and they've got meeting room space, and
Senior
they
center.
Huge
fundraised, the
auditorium.
priority for
Yeah,
that
senior
community was a 600-seat theater
Okay.
that was predominantly private funding.
Okay, my question,
Because Gladstone, Liberty, Excelsior Springs, everybody has done that.
North Kansas
Okay.
City, and Kearney went through the same activity a couple years before us. They they did their little firehouse community center that's more of a non-pool, non-gym facility.
I think this kind of brings us to our next, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just say, I deal with this in business and everything else. Getting the whole thing at once is very difficult. But if you can chunk pieces of it, for instance, the outdoor pool section like Plattsburgh did for $1 million, get that in place and show people how it worked, and then go after the building for the wellness center or something else 3 years later. That might be a way in 10 to 15 years of getting to that $15 million number without it looking so
Absolutely.
daunting.
Yeah. 'Cause I think kind of what they're saying here is like, this is what you get with all the wilderness.
YMCA had
I agree
membership
with that.
targets.
I think the people here are wanting to just see improvement and progress.
Yeah.
And so looking at this as holistically as the whole thing is just not realistic. So, again, what can we show?
This parks and Stormhouse had money to now update what we have and then start building a new thing.
That's what this plan's for.
Yep. So yeah, the goal of this plan is to have that 10-year plan and have that budget planned out with those projects based on your guys' priorities and the community's priorities.
And also aligning that to what grant funding sources are available. There's not a fund out there that's gonna build you a pool.
No.
And the other thing we're gonna run up against in Smithville, we can't put any pools down here. This is floodway, it's not gonna work. All the land outside of this bowl is privately owned. The city has historically not done good at acquiring land. And if you look at our cost for land right now, a lot in a subdivision made and Clinton County zoning on pools is a lot different than Clay County zoning on pools.
Yeah,
If
so
you have a
yeah,
pool in your backyard, it's gotta be fully hard fenced around your pool or your property.
4-inch ball. Can't pass a 4-inch ball.
Right.
so now we're gonna get to the,
Maybe I don't need to tell you guys this, but this conversation then dovetails into the comp plan, right? The same recommendations that were in the comp plan, the population, maybe if it hits its projections at 2030, 10 years from now, you might have the population and capacity that would be necessary for the pool. So, the way we're kind of looking at it is we've got 10 years to put that plan in place and start thinking about that, having that conversation.
thousands, what we were estimating, but obviously we split that with Public Works or vice versa based on what priorities are at that time, so.
And just for your all's heads
Yeah.
for math wise, Excelsior Springs, half cent sales tax bring. Because when you pull in Excelsior Springs, you got 10 chains in a Walmart. When you drive to Smithville, you got maybe 5 across the whole 169.
So about 450, I mean, as businesses come in, things like that, it could increase some.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Eat local.
So I think we talked a little bit last time about levels of service. We talked about the activities that happen. I mean, one of the obvious things we talk about distributed recreation is that aquatics piece. This new splash pad is going to be way up here north.
Yeah.
So as we talk about our programming ideas,
Hobie Park.
Currently weather, no,
Yep. We had conversation about Wildflower and if there was a potential to increase that acreage, in some capacity, thinking about what may happen there, playing on the environmental education piece is something that folks have wanted. Obviously, Smith's Fork has a ton of potential.
Subdivision
A
going
lot of
south
the-
of Wildflower? Is there a subdivision going in south of Wildflower?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about, maybe adding that acreage on, is because they could donate possibly like a portion of that.
I think they have a little bit that's
Yeah.
green space because they're doing their own pool also.
Yeah.
Okay. That does increase the level of service area there. We want to talk about how to best utilize the property at Smith's Fork, we want to have tonight, and based on the comments and the information that we received from the, help me, storyboards, the story maps that we're going to be putting together, people are thinking along the same lines about that maybe. So then we need to find a fun place to relocate those. Sports complex is a conversation that we want to have. We don't have property indicated on the maps, but we need to at least start the conversation about if there was a designated property for a sports complex, what would we need to have in it if we're relocating from Heritage, if we're maybe relocating from Smith's Fork. Property down here as we move a little further south, because we are definitely missing service in that area. So, our next exercise and activity, I don't know if we want to start at Smith's Fork. Where do you guys want to start?
So does that mean we're not?
Want to start at Heritage?
I say we start north, at Diamond Crest Park, yeah, go north and build our way down south.
All right, that sounds great. So, some of the programming ideas that we've been kicking around, the idea and the goal now is that we have a conversation about what these places can become. We've had that conversation about Smithville having some park properties, but they're underutilized, they're underprogrammed. So we really want to think about all of the possibilities and either cross things off if they don't fit into what you guys are thinking might happen, or add things that we didn't think of that we need to make sure that are on this list that we're considering. So, that's going in. We had conversation about what amenities need to be provided there if that is a city, because that is a city-owned facility that may not be perceived as a city-owned facility.
We can check off the shade, because I just signed that one.
That's right.
Yes. Done?
Shane's done.
Well, it's not done yet, but it's,
Bought.
Taken care of. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to see that, as small as it is, be like a smaller version of like Dang Park with like a connected, maybe fenced
Yeah.
playground area.
Well, it's not small. We have the right of way through those
Okay.
trees all the way to.
No, I mean just the
end.
splash pad is what I was referring to, is just as far as small, like just the splash. I know that little part is small, but like, we have a lot of land
Yeah.
that's there that we can work in. But
Yeah, and you
I'd love
got-
to see,
yeah.
like, a smaller version
And you
of
got that trail that goes straight down.
I'd love to see that trail connected to where the retaining wall is at least first, right? So that it's walkable from the people
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But that's a small enough piece of trail that,
And, you know, when we have the, you know, the splash pad there, do we need, you know, a shelter or playground or?
I like the restroom for sure. And on the restrooms,
Yeah.
it needs to be HVAC'd, not just a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Sewer, I mean, we have sewer and water there, right? So,
And as far as that trail, it would be really nice if you could get it all the way down to Lake Meadows, because
yeah, we have easement to the edge of Lake Meadows. We've got to get,
But it's around the back side, isn't it?
yeah, but yeah, the road goes through. I mean, the trail, the sidewalk will get to it, but yeah, ideally that's gonna go all the way through to, Eagle Parkway, so Tradewinds gets picked up and Eagle Heights becomes walkable.
even if you guys would just finish the end of that into Lake Meadows, I don't know if you've ever walked that. It does not, it's not a trail. It is effectively, it ended, Lake Meadows is 15, 20 feet away, and there's a bunch of crap there you have to kind of climb over and
Is
climb
there
out
a
of.
little waterway back there? I'm looking on the map. Is there like a little waterway back there?
Where the trail ends is where our easement ends, the rest is Lake Meadows.
But yeah, I mean, because right now, like Lake Meadows actually has no access to the splash pad other than kind of going around 169.
Yep.
You either have to walk through the bean field or, you know, kind of go down into that.
Yeah, I like the playground idea for that park though too, with the splash pad being there, it also gives another play structure for that
Small
park.
playground like that, yeah.
Yeah,
That's got the elements of
Yeah.
natural surrounding, right? Like the tree house, a tree house type of thing.
yeah,
You probably want the parking lot there. for
yeah.
that, and that could-
Oh yeah,
Well, we
parking
have-
lot's super important because
Part of
of,
it is-
yeah.
Their parking lot, we have access to as,
Yeah, we have a little easement through there that we have a perfect spot for a parking lot to go into either like that,
but the parking lot they built is also our,
yeah.
we're allowed to use it as well.
Usable, but.
For now, yeah, but I think if we want to like increase that trail usage to make it like a trailhead
yeah,
parking lot.
you're gonna you're gonna
Yeah.
outstretch that
And if
capacity.
you want to do it, I mean, if you want to designate it as kind of a park and ride.
But I wouldn't say that would have to be
Trailhead.
a parking.
Yeah. Yeah, because we also said that would kind of be, Diamond Crest would be kind of the trailhead if you wanted to park and ride along W there, if they, you know, expanded that to, you know, down to the
to get down
lake,
Could
yeah.
you do like a
Or if you want to go
permeable,
south, yeah.
We would do-
permeable type parking lot there?
Just do gravel.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we don't want extra stormwater problems.
I missed, you said something about fenced.
Oh, if you've ever been down to Dag Park, what it is just a big, there's like a little kids splash pad, there's an older, not older, but I mean like middle school, I guess, age, splash pad. And then the rest of it is like, just like climbing playground area, but it's fenced, which is also on Armour Road in the middle of a very busy area. So it's not necessary, but if you have it big enough, as a mom, like it's really helpful to know that like my kid can't get out of this area
Yeah.
like easily. But just it's open all the time down there, I think, except like when the actual park is closed, but.
Around the splash pad.
And it encases like the bathroom area, so then like when your park is closed, like that's all kind of like for vandalism
Locked
purposes,
in.
is what's in, which you
What
can
about-
get to it if you climb over, but you don't have to track.
One thing I'd like to see added is lighting.
Uh-huh, yeah, for sure.
It's a little dark through the trail area. Yeah. Emergency, you know, the emergency button. The blue light, yeah.
Is there,
Kiosk type of thing too,
is that a system-wide recommendation?
yeah. Just because it's
I think it makes
a safety
sense.
thing,
Is that a
Yeah, I
grant
agree.
possibility?
Are we-
It seems like a grant kind of thing.
possibly.
Might, yeah, very well could be.
EV station.
On the lighting,
Like
we're gonna
that.
look at specifics like
The sound system
Like
that you were shared on LinkedIn at the time.
downlighting?
It's like if you get close to
instead
All of our lighting has
something.
to be, no, all of our lighting has to be LED.
That's
down.
a,
But not
that's what we
so
need,
to avoid
right
lighting.
now, the restroom.
Yeah, we can't go off the property. Yeah. If you look at Price Chopper, it doesn't go off that property.
I just know a lot of the city light stuff are just a big globe instead of having a thing, so you lose a lot of night sky, and so that's a big thing for a lot of communities. They're really trying to look at the environment.
Yeah, we wouldn't want it to be,
Get away from
We don't want-
upward lighting.
we don't want to encourage parks use late at night, but we want it to be it gets really dark through those trees even when the sun's up.
Sure, but and that's great, I'm just saying a lot of communities are looking at light that does not add to
Right.
upward light.
No, all of
pollution.
our ordinance is it's gotta be downlit, it can't be the property.
So is this security lighting?
Lighting, yeah,
Just like basic security lighting? You're not talking about aesthetic lighting?
yeah.
Not
If we do anything like that, it would, yeah, it would be close, like the downtown trail and
Yeah, I think the Riverwalk would be better for a lit.
Riverwalk, to match up with
It
streetscape.
should, yeah, it should.
And-
Yeah, if you look at these, they're all LED downlit, that's why we have the covers on them.
Yeah.
So you can see it as you're going down Main, but it doesn't go up.
Did we capture everything here?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
That was already an
Wildflower.
ordinance or a.
Now, we can always jump back, but Wildflower Park, the conversations have been around that education, environmental education, because of the uses that are there now.
Use of the waterway. There's a creek that runs through it from the pond to the, I mean, it's a stormwater creek, but enhance that so that it becomes educational and more of a
And there's a
playground.
bridge, but I'd love to see that bridge like upgraded into like a thing.
4-H built it, you can help them out.
I do always like Danny's message and the mayor having an actual like sunflower field in that area.
Yeah.
We gotta do sunflowers and
That's
wildflowers.
yeah.
Even
Sunflower
like
field,
sunflowers, or even like a big coneflower field, it doesn't, I love the whole sunflower idea, but
Native
it's also
flowers.
done
That's
something.
done a couple of places,
Yeah.
so what,
And
yeah.
it's always really like a very small part of the year. The sunflowers take forever to come up, they take forever to bloom, and then once they're done, they're gone pretty quick, but like a wildflower.
Are there any grants to put it back into native grass and native flowers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
there is, but you have to do a chemical kill of everything and that's becomes stormwater and everything. I don't like doing chemical kills around the lake
No.
Native grass.
for native grasses.
For natives?
Yeah, you have to kill it all off before you can put down, before they'll give you the seed to put down natives. But you can do some tilling and some other stuff
You
that's,
can do no-till,
yeah,
no drill till, you can do burns.
yeah.
And that'll help bring it back, but it just depends on where it is. We're looking at converting our property to native, but you're right.
It is-
The recommendation from Missouri Conservation Department is put Roundup on it.
Yeah, it's cheaper if we did
It's crazy.
yeah, if we did something that
When
took
I
off
live
the
in
top
waterways at
turf.
all.
Yeah, I shy away from anything where we throw a bunch of Roundup on it. But yeah, if we could do something, have somebody till it really well and turn it over and then replant it, that's ideal.
I know that there's,
Or you do something that'll kill off the grass.
Missouri Prairie Foundation offers some grant, $500 garden grants and stuff, small stuff, but I don't know if they would partner or not to
Yeah, I've been
really
working.
look at it. My
It would
wife's
also
on
be a really good
their
place.
board
I-
and the Deep Roots Board, which is the native.
It's easier just throw a tarp over and let the grass die than throw it out.
I
I mean, you do it section by section and you let it die off. That's-
Yeah, it may be a 5-year plan to convert it all and just chunk it away.
Yeah, and you can do a lot with burn, you can do a lot of cold season grasses and stuff.
I love the idea of cultivating it with like a trail through like a
Yeah.
wildflower.
Well,
It would be really
making trails that connect it to the Eagle Parkway Trail.
Yeah,
The walking trails, and then also around that pond, development around the pond, a dock or something small that just goes, because you catch fish in the pond, there's some pretty nice ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does an outdoor classroom make
yeah,
sense?
as I say,
there
well, we
is
have,
something like that here now, but I'd love to see something
add to the outdoor classroom.
added, yeah.
Yeah, Eagle Heights has classes over there in non-COVID time.
Oh, really?
That's why the chalkboard's there, and
That's cool.
we walk the kids over there with the gardening club.
I think somebody had mentioned maybe, there's a storage facility there, but
Yeah.
something that was,
A little more aesthetically pleasing.
Hey, it was free, Danny, it was free.
I'm not complaining
We're
about
not
it,
big.
it's great for now. I'm just saying in the future, if we're gonna upgrade the park, we should upgrade that.
No, we should definitely make it, fix the wood on it, fix the issues on it.
Yeah, is it like a shelter house under
Give
there?
it a faux cabin.
And then one thing that I want to, as an overarching thing to add to Diamond Crest, add to Wildflower, and add to all parks is drinking water, which we don't really have
yeah, I
as
agree.
a standard, but free accessible drinking water at parks. Yeah.
Water bottle filling?
Yeah.
Water bottles
Yes.
and dog bowl.
Maybe a dog bowl, yeah.
Winterized,
That's nice.
year round.
Full, that single station that does all that.
Yeah.
That's what we're using in the trailheads, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
winterized one.
Yeah, and getting one of Heritage too. Yeah, Chris, I said for Wildflowers, like, it's like that classroom feel was like a shelter house, that
Yeah.
kind of had, you know,
Out,
that access to, you know, the storage or.
when I think about Wildflower, the backyard that people, like your dream backyard, because it is a neighborhood park.
Yeah.
So you have fire pit, fireplace type of shelter where you can have your birthday parties and things like that. Because that is smaller lot subdivision, and the one going south is gonna be smaller lot subdivision.
Like a managed reservable, or would it just be first
For
come?
sure, yeah, I
First come,
think so.
first serve, or everything we have is
Yeah.
reservable, pretty much.
Is there
with
an
Parks
issue
Network.
there as we grow it for parking?
No,
Okay.
it's a
Yeah, I was
neighborhood
gonna
park,
say-
it's street parking, it's your parking
Okay.
driveway, it's for the neighborhood. It's
Yeah.
not a regional or city park.
Gotcha.
And to that point, is restrooms still, you know, typically you do
I-
a
rest- I-
restroom facility, but if you've got an outdoor classroom,
Yeah, I would-
like Girl Scout troops and.
The small restroom there makes sense.
Even just a single,
Yeah,
like, it doesn't even have to be like a
Right.
two-person, just a single, just for,
And that into that cul-de-sac, since that's, I mean, we could put marked parking spots there possibly, but making that more accessible from the the northeast corner where it comes to the cul-de-sac, and having, you know, steps down or ADA trail that comes down or whatever to get people in. That trail goes in along Eagle Parkway there, it'd be nice.
Does the nature theme playground fit?
Yes.
yeah, I like it.
Is it needed?
I love those TP, I love your TVs. I really, there was one in Omaha Zoo, I took a lot of pictures from Omaha Zoo for Wildflower. The creek bed, the giant bird's nest, the bird house, that's.
I like the idea of like a bird theme thing, especially like eagle nest type climbing structures, because it's Eagle Heights across the street,
Yeah.
and.
Just got splinters, but,
Yeah, adding all these
Oh,
cool,
okay, that
yeah.
would,
no, the one in Omaha Zoo is great, but you
Yeah.
can't get splintered, but it is an eagle nest that you can go into pretty
That's
much.
really
And it's got a giant birdhouse next to it, and it's got, the creek has logs in it that are concrete. It's formed concrete, but it's still a log going across the creek. And there's water that runs through there, but the grass, you know, helps soak it up, but.
Chris, yeah, adding those amenities in there, like a playground, shelter house, restroom, do you think a parking lot would be needed?
could we get one?
So I feel like
on
you're kind of
the
making like a little destination park
Yeah.
almost, with
I
a different theme park.
I hate adding parking, especially in
Yeah.
a neighborhood park. I mean, it's their amenity.
If it were to happen, I think,
Okay.
because you don't want to necessarily up, like a load of traffic into their neighborhood, because they're like, this is where we live.
Yeah.
They could park at Eagle Heights and walk across, because it's a 6-foot wide, or 8-foot wide trail right now, so.
Yeah.
And this is an easy one to program
Right.
in
Yeah.
a neighborhood, so we
Yeah,
want.
yeah, you don't want to, if they want to have yoga in the park for the neighborhood or the subdivision, it's great, but we don't want to put yoga in the park there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what downtown and Heritage is for.
Can we move on to Hillview, or wherever we were going next?
Are we to Heritage?
Swiss Fork.
Smith's Fork. All right, this is the one with all the potential, has great activities already.
Commercial overlay.
Some conversations that maybe we've had
Did you get the
with
package
various
together?
folks.
What?
I love the glamping idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, me and Matt had some interesting conversations on.
They had a couple of yurts out there.
Yep, I agree, and start hosting some, you know, start hosting some.
Yeah.
About with Cynthia over here, just the you had talked about, the possibility of having like a rental space.
Yeah.
And she was saying that that's already gonna get expanded to, is it streets?
We're
Oh.
expanding the
Parks facility.
parks facility for street maintenance. Didn't say rental fee, so the, kind of that function of our maintenance from streets will be moving
Just move
to.
all the cars outside and have them run it down as a.
Well,
It would be
that
cool.
started some discussion
Yeah.
of other.
Full, like rentable, bicycle rentable, even like what she was saying, where it's just off an app.
I would love
would be
that.
Really great.
Yeah.
Well,
where it's just like a park and hop in like a rented bike and go, but kayaks, paddleboards, anything like that. But then to also possibly have something, if we could get it commercial, I guess we'd have to annex that, or there are a lot of things that have to happen first, but to have like an eating space, even if it was just outdoor eating space, would be great with the campground there and all of that.
I'll tell you, if you could create an open space where people could also, if they are gonna have like a camper show, or they're gonna have, I know with motorcycle stuff, you'd just go stay in a campground, and then there'd be an open spot, and everybody's got a little booth set up selling, selling stuff and different things, and it's a, we get used a lot, but if it was multi-use, if it was part of a multi-use building, I think you could do stuff with it.
Yeah, having an outdoor eating space that had some like fire pits, that just like the ambiance of that draws people in, even if it's just fried food. People love that kind of stuff.
Nice roadhouse with.
Did I catch that correctly, that's part of this whole rental, possible concession, restaurant?
Yeah.
That probably
That is a lot of
expanded a little bit
rental.
into some, okay. A couple of big things. There's sports fields there, the tennis courts are there, then we've got the whole nature theme there. Does it need to be one or the other? Can it accommodate all of these things? How do you feel about?
I think, personally, I think it can accommodate more, because I think it would be kind of this is the lake rec park. And so it is nature, but it's also, got some more commercial feel to it. I think that's kind of common around here.
And by having like the ball fields there, that keeps it active during the week, because realistically, a lot of these things up there are weekend ideas, but the ball fields are the community during the week continuing to use it. So, that's one way of looking at it. Make sure the primitive camping and the glamping, to me, don't go together. You don't want them both in the same spot, in my opinion, and whatnot, so that's something to segregate, but also time. There are Monday through Friday things that don't exist on Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I think you can put them together without putting them together. There's almost a break between the camping area and like where the rec area is. And if there's like a space back there where it would be, you could just add driveway to get back there, but you go through the primitive maybe to get to it. But then like, it's a little separated, maybe circled up, of like 5 or 10 spots, or however big we wanted to do it. But circle that up, and then with a trail over to, if we did like an eating space or a rec space, that would be for the campground over to the other area, like it would be a little more accessible that way.
Yeah, but do we want to compete with the Corps and their campgrounds?
Yes.
We've upgraded our campgrounds over the last, 2 or 3 years, and.
All 50 amp and full sewer.
No, we're doing a third of.
We're at
50 amp in 3 phases. We have some 50 amp.
But it's all 30 now, right?
Like a fourth of it, or a fourth is
I don't think
50,
we're
yeah.
taking any of their business, which I'm not necessarily worried about, but like, I feel like us expanding our camping area, what it's doing is keeping people on this side of the.
Well, the other thing is, there's rules with the Corps. You can only camp 30 days.
Oh.
So we get people to move in ours, move over there, move back, they want to.
Yeah, one thing that Chris and I, when we were talking and actually like walking around the campground to see where we could expand it, is that we have this big open crop field behind the campground, but it's a no-till area.
Yeah.
So it'd be tough to do anything besides primitive camping back there, or glamping, or some sort of portable thing where we don't have to dig down in the ground, so. Because of Indian artifacts
The other
that are in that
thing
area.
about Smith Fork, as far as lake campgrounds go, is it's not.
Yeah, what can we do that's unique, and I think offering that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think you're right, I think we are lake accessible, we're not necessarily lake.
You're not running out to go swimming.
We have different, we have a difference already in just, besides just, the sewer and things like that. People come to us because we're that quiet below the lake, in the trees.
It's more camping.
Yeah, so can we keep that same view of the campground now as we expand it?
The thing with the we're not having a primitive, we don't have any dedicated primitive around the lake at all. So I primitive camp all the time. And having to rent a spot that's an RV spot, it's for $35 to put two tents max, sucks.
Yeah.
We have the space where the Girl Scout camp area is, it would be a great primitive, that's in the trees, away from the RVs, guys that are coming in on their bike, they wanna just go camp for a night, pay $10, drop it in the honor box, whatever.
Yeah, because I was talking about the land behind the campground too.
Yeah, that too.
Since you can't dig or anything back there, what can we
Yeah.
set up back
But yeah,
there?
around the Girl Scout area too,
Yeah.
there's a fire pit now that they built.
Mhm.
And literally you're rolling in, you might be sleeping 4 to 6 hours when you're on a bikepacking trip and you drop $5 to $10. The conservation department has them all over the place.
So what do we think about the skate park?
Skateboard can get.
Well, or
I will say sometimes when we get that age group that skateboards don't want to be around adults. So
Yeah.
they really do, like, we asked a kid one time, what do you think about a downtown basketball? He's like, I would like it, but he's like, I like being out here because we're kind of by ourselves. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
We sometimes.
Accessible
We
that
get
trail.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing is you can look at doing, so what Platte City does is theirs is more modular, it's not fixed assets.
Yeah.
So it is something where you could look at, do we have one that we can store in a facility and bring out during the summer for people?
That sounds
I
smart.
like that.
Make the parks more modular
Yeah.
and not, you program it for a certain amount of time. Cynthia loves my ice skating rink.
I get that.
I
You'll
love the
never
ice
be able to
skating
get-
idea.
Good or bad, whatever, but it will
Amen.
limit the skate park.
Yeah.
My sister was a skater, we had half pipe in our house, and they found, that most skaters find old swimming pools, and that's, the skate park thing is new, that's newer
It's
trend,
new,
right?
yeah,
It's,
but
but it is something
it's
that
so
people,
well used.
if you build it right, and ideally, look where the skate park is at in Smith's Fork.
Mhm.
Do we need a driving range, when you got one that's maintained and managed and paid for right up the street?
Yeah.
You get rid of the driving range, you open up a lot.
Let me ask, how feasible would it be, because I know that we've had some discussion, I have anywhere in mind when I ask this, how feasible would it be to have people have discussed a theater type area where there's a bandstand and then just
We'll get there.
open seating, not seating, but if we could use that kind of space.
Riverwalk.
Oh, okay, but if we could use that kind of space for a modular type skate park or something like that, that then would get moved
Yeah.
off, used for what it gets used for and then reused, because
Yeah.
the courtyard is great, but I would love to see it used for, it's open, it's beautiful, I love it, but to have something
Except for the
extra there would
stamped
be great.
concrete.
Yeah,
Get rid of the fake cobblestone, make it flat.
Unfortunately, we are having a great conversation and the time is slipping away. I don't want to rush us. I can stay here all night.
Don't make that promise.
Destination playground.
Yeah,
We've talked about maybe keeping the one. There's room for multiples there.
expand it.
Expand it. Do we see the relocation of the heritage fields to Smith's Fork
Possibly.
by the road, possibly?
Here's the thing, and I wrote it down so I didn't forget. When it comes to rec, which I know Matt and Brittany and I love rec and John, we've got a brand new soccer complex going in right up there. And we might have a really big baseball complex going in at the 587 project. So how much do we actually have to build tournament grade facilities when you've got competing ones really close?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because I know that when they talked about what Smithville Recreation offers when they started in 2016, when the city took over, was just rec.
Yeah.
And offering still those fields available for the rec teams to play, and also the city who are in those club teams that practice as well.
Do we need 2 Clovers? Probably not, when we got
Yeah, I don't,
Liberty,
yeah.
North Kansas City, and then this 587 project is probably going to include a big baseball component.
Mhm.
Where's that at?
587 is 435 and 152.
Yeah, because, also too,
152 plus
yeah,
157.
Liberty put in 9 turf ball fields at Capitol Federal, which is not far away, so.
Okay. Frisbee golf?
Yeah, we have three
Yeah.
of them out at the county, but you have to pay $5 to go into the county, so.
Yeah.
It's something we can do in that same pop-up type of space.
So
that
expensive.
costs so little, and
Yeah.
people will use it like crazy.
Yeah, it's very
And
inexpensive.
that gets the, activities every day of the week.
Mhm.
Well, we could have 2 of them, if we had one on the lake remote side and one back where all the wildflower stuff is, where there's nothing.
I'd rather build it along the river and get them into downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
It's long and straight.
Yeah.
and You just keep going.
You zigzag with some bridges along the different little creeks and things or whatnot.
I love the idea of.
Then you can sell them discs that go on the river.
Yeah, and then we have somebody go collect them, just like golf balls.
Let's see, pickleball courts?
Or no, you.
We have pickleball.
Tennis.
Pickleball.
They have frisbees, and you
Is
just
there
ride
the
and
key
then
to
they're back.
the tennis?
I mean.
I think, yeah,
Our tennis is used in the, I know the school has it on their, they actually do have that one on their, CIP is to do tennis.
Yeah, currently at our facility, at the current amenity out there, it's not ADA accessible to get from the parking lot to the tennis and basketball court facility, but also there's a huge crack that goes from one side all the way across the other side. So, I mean, if we do want to keep it, we may look to resurface it or replace it.
It's gonna have to be redone, yeah, regardless. So
Yeah, regardless, it's got to be
So we're
redone.
gonna have to redo it, we could move it if we wanted to.
Exactly.
It's gonna have to be done. Okay.
But I guess my question is, do we need tennis and pickleball? Sounds like.
It's the same court. Yeah, we already painted it for both.
Different lines on the ground, so you
Because
can
the
put
net
it
height's
at
the
different.
same.
Have different nets and all
Yeah,
that.
I kind of, no, I was down in North Kansas City and they have like 6 tennis courts that also have the pickleball lines in the middle of it. It's not for your,
It only
you're
costs
really
a couple $100 to paint those.
yeah. But, then you look at Riverside, you put in, 6 pickleball courts, only just pickleball strict, and they were completely, being used the other day when it was nice out, so.
Yeah, but stuff like that, I
It
know.
might be,
Yeah.
you've got the,
And we have Kearney, our friends over at Kearney saying their pickleball courts are being fought over to who can play, so it's,
pickleball is certainly more
I know,
than
yeah,
tennis.
but it's one of those
If
like.
tennis is being met, then
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Yeah, I wouldn't add
the
any more.
portable
Yeah,
skate.
I like the aspect of having a multi-purpose that we can,
Multi-purpose,
yeah.
And putting people at Smith's Fork takes them out of, it's really easy to hop back on 92 and not come through downtown. I mean,
Yeah.
the goal is to drive the sales tax number up, so we have more money to put back into the parks, not tell them to go to the Legion,
Yeah.
so.
And do we already have plans for, I remember it being discussed at some point about lighting.
Please don't shoot it out with the paintball guns again,
Oh, goodness.
we're good.
Yeah, can we get security?
Ooh, paintball.
Once we annex it.
Labor vote, let's do that.
Plexiglass over it, dude.
I am game, running through the
Laser
woods.
tag and paintball.
Chris, there was we were in a meeting the other day and someone mentioned that they had Wi-Fi at all like 120 parks of theirs. Is that something that you would think would be like one of these like
Wi-Fi at our
ideas?
park should be- I think Wi-Fi should be provided because we're using it for other services, like you need the credit card machine at the RV park, so we have internet
And the
out
security
there.
cameras?
And security cameras and lighting.
I think it's a very specific park to park. I know Lake is having that same conversation because their expensive art is getting vandalized and they're talking about maybe just putting something out there that looks like you're gonna get busted. So, we're not doing official, don't tell anyone,
Dummy
this is
cameras.
a live stream, this is awesome.
There's a trail
This is
cam.
on YouTube.
Well, one of the things we have talked about, that's probably not on the list,
There's a trail cam out by the.
Yeah, we don't, I think it's the course probably.
or the county, the sheriff's department puts those out too.
Yeah, but that's just it, if you had something on the end, going in and out of it. You're running fiber there to put Wi-Fi already.
The problem is we can't, Smith's Fork Park's not in our city limits, so we can't police it.
I will
And
say
once we
too-
fix that, we can fix a lot of things.
As
That's rough.
an old risk manager, you can't, putting dummy cams up actually sets you up for liability because people will say, I thought I was protected.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the other part of it is, the live streaming of the baseball fields, those are amazing cameras and watch that, so.
Well, as being the mayor, you can deputize every like able-bodied man to.
Call it the militia,
Yeah.
yeah, not deputy. 18 and over.
John, you've got the 2 AM to 4 AM every Thursday night.
We can spend all day stopping each other.
So the question, the real question is gonna be at this
Enforcing mask
point,
ordinances.
I think we're hearing that we move the ball fields. There's so much higher, better use for Heritage Park on the
Yes.
river wall.
They're expensive.
We need a place to put ball fields. Do we need a place to put ball fields if we're taking them out?
I think we have a couple at Smith's Fork like we do. But I think it's really a conversation we need to have with the school district to see what their needs are and how we can do joint cooperative facility, because they have land there already.
Yeah, I'd say our ball fields are being used. I mean, Heritage Park is booked,
But I don't think-
from the summer.
I don't think that we can ever get to the level of what the need is for the club teams.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's something we want to be aspirational of either, like,
I think
yeah, I
we-
get it, that's
yeah.
some money coming in.
I mean,
That's the thing, is if we had a dozen hotels and we had a lot of restaurants, and we had the infrastructure to support a tournament, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But we don't. And I met with hotel operators this weekend, and they're still very hesitant on Smithville, because we don't have what do you do when you're waiting for that next tournament game?
Right.
Like, if you're 6 hours between games, you're gonna leave Smithville, right? There's not, until we get the stuff to do, and this is the stuff to do. So maybe in 10 years, we look at the conversation of a big baseball complex, and by that time, everybody's playing spaceball or whatever it is, but.
Yeah, I agree.
Spaceball.
Spaceball, yeah. Who knew pickleball Who knew pickleball was gonna be a thing 10 years ago? Like, nobody, tennis went like this in the 90s, and then they started playing.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really see all of this kind of tying together here.
I'm just super excited to
Because they
prove
are-
it.
I think Riverwalk is a check. I think
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
I'm just so happy it's up there because when I campaign, I tell people there's not an inch of Smithville Lake in city limits, but there's a river, we should develop it.
Yeah.
People are like, that's stupid. It's on the list now, so.
Danny had a comment about Riverwalk and expanding it beyond just downtown out to Smith's Fork.
Actually
Yes.
taking it out to Smith's Fork, so we were looking at the map.
Yeah,
Well, the river, rocks are amazing.
provide.
Thanks for
So
coming.
like, here's the lake for milk access, and that's where the little lake is back there, and there's a trail that goes along it. So if you attach the camping area.
Oh, you're just doing something.
I think that would be great.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that would be great to take, because you're connecting like all of our campground area, you're making Lake Remote and the Smith's Fork area more accessible to our downtown area.
Yeah, one thing I'd love to see if we work with the Corps over the next 20 years is figure out to do some locks along there. Because in Europe, that's how you cross the river, right? There's not a separate bridge, there's locks that you cross, but then you can close it off to get more. Instead of just, it's all or nothing like it is today, where they open the floodgates and it goes, or they,
It'd be nice to have something you could actually do, like paddle boats and
Yeah.
different fun, you know,
yeah,
recreational.
expand it, because there's a way you can make pools down here, right? Like expand it a little bit.
You're
Heritage.
talking about paddleboards and
Yeah, between here, well, Heritage and even right here.
that. Okay.
Right here on this side, because it's pretty flat here.
There's also a Riverwalk area and has some, depending on water level and that kind of thing.
You dig it, yeah, you make
When
it.
we were in Estes Park this summer, one of the things they have is they just take large slabs of rock and they're just this much below like normal water level so that you can like step down off the walkway into the water and kind of splash.
There's some rock up there on the hill we can go get.
But it would be something like that that would make almost a natural splash park type area because they were like small kids like playing in that area in places where it's not rushing when it's like really
Yeah.
cold.
You make little waterfalls too that people can take pictures with, and,
Yeah,
because people forget too, the bridge this way on Main Street doesn't go over the river, it goes over a creek.
yeah.
So we have a creek that comes into the river too, so we have to Helvey, that's the creek. The Smith's Fork is the river.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
can,
okay.
so you've got a Y down over here of where you've got two waterways that intersect. So we've got to remember that too, because that creek pours, if it's raining on the south end, you're gonna get water dumping into there too, so. But it's also sewer.
So this is, Heritage is gonna be one of those that would be easy to overprogram.
Yeah.
Also. So selecting the right choices
Well,
or
Got it.
priorities.
Got a lot of green space right now.
I would love with that green space to do a very, like a band type situation, kind of like what they're doing out at Smith's Fork for Ymca Fest. Flatbed trailer, bands come in,
Yeah, we
grass.
talked about that before.
Like bring your own lawn chair type thing where it's downtown, where you have all the amenities that are down there. and
Yeah,
you
portable
have
stage.
to-
yeah, what Nashville
Yeah, a
did,
portable stage, I would love to see that.
Nashville did
Not
on the
a- not a
riverfront
structure.
is they
No.
stepped the
Affordable.
back.
Are you thinking
just made
smaller
it here.
than what
Yeah.
Connie's doing, just down the road?
Right.
Like what they do in
What
Ymca.
Connie's
Cool.
doing down the road, down that area? Or like, you're saying like just more non-permanent?
No, just like
Something
what they
else.
do in Ymca Fest, bring it in for the.
Yeah, just bring it in.
2
for-
months or
Like, you
whatever.
could program that area, we have just a bunch of green space, I would love to see it used outside, because we do a lot of things down here, but it gets packed.
The problem we have out there, and that's, we'd have to build the infrastructure for it, is even if you bring them in as flatbeds or temporary stage, is electricity.
I will say too, I mean,
Don't have accessible.
that'd probably be another full-time position to program that,
Sure.
that area.
But if you look at, do you and you have to expand bathrooms, and if we did expand baseball there, you have to add a scorekeepers and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you get rid of the minimum, you get rid of T-ball to start, the T-ball field.
Well,
Or you keep the T-ball field for.
Having that green space is like a movable, non-permanent festival type area would be really cool if we could get the infrastructure to,
I think
like,
also,
bathroom-wise, we're not.
I think we were also looking at that green space could be, another splash pad
Mhm.
area.
But one of the things too is.
But a destination
But
type
then do-
spot
Yeah.
that's a water feature,
So like maybe, yeah.
But and then you have to do the math of how many.
Surveys too.
It's
That
coming
community
back.
space and that festival space and those events.
Could we
But then-
do that in phases, where we use it as a festival space for now, build up the infrastructure to meet the festival space, and then we could eventually put a splash pad into that area, and then infrastructure would already be there for something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, to build it up, I mean, you have to think about electricity
Yeah.
in that area, and there's none.
There's not at all.
Water.
So, yeah, there's water though.
No, I'm talking about the water that covers the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is the
You're
thing
gonna
about
have
that
to
park is you
a
need
park
floods.
would be flooded.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
It hasn't flooded since 2017, but.
But I mean, it's a
Well, that was only
big
20
green
years
space,
ago.
it's been a big
Yeah.
green space because of that for a really long time, but I would love to see it used as more than just wide open green space.
Yeah.
That's, we were talking about ice skating pavilion.
I thought that was.
Where you think
courtyard.
Wow, to see all the ice fishing and stuff going on.
Oh,
on
it's
the
crazy,
lake.
seeing
Yeah.
people out on the lake ice skating.
Yeah.
But
You make a spot
and you've
that's-
got, yeah.
Would it be an area kind of like the ones that are, I think Zona is this way now, where it's, like it's a sand volleyball court, but then they like put floor
Right.
down for
Yeah,
ice
they-
skating?
they do.
Yeah, I think Raymore did something similar last year and this year, and I think it cost them around $150,000 to
We
$200,000.
can't do sand volleyball until we get rid of the.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of, because they are giant litter boxes, but like, if you could get something that could be covered or used in the wintertime, I would love to see, especially down in Heritage, because during the wintertime, it's hard to use Heritage Park for anything because with the snow.
Yeah.
But if it was a
If there was
place to
something
go
designed for
for
it.
ice
Yeah.
skating or something, it would bring more people.
Oh my God.
How hard is it to maintain an outdoor ice rink when it's 30 degrees?
I mean, it's hard to just
Well,
maintain
you-
the ice skating rink. in
That's
general.
something we RFP and you have somebody bid on it and operate it and you don't,
Yes.
we don't do it, we don't have the staff to do it.
That was the
But
conversation.
even for them, it's
I had
hard
with
to
someone.
maintain.
All right.
Well, does the temperature really support that realistically now? Because how often is it below 32 during the day here anymore?
They-
Consistently.
Yeah, they run the one at Zona through the winter. It's
You're
pretty
really
popular.
helpful.
So thin amount of water, it doesn't take that much to brew.
Yeah, it's,
Ice skating rink in the winter.
A big festival, you've got a trail that works for that.
As the camping area, night trips.
That's what they're
Or
talking
study
about.
night trips.
That's one of the things they're
I feel like there does need to be something iconic in Heritage Park, and if the structure.
If you make it, if we're talking big timbers and, or, you know.
I don't know, we can do the program.
So, okay, doing that with train cars?
But like,
That'd
be-
This is Smith's work, you know? It's simply.
Hey, Chris, do you want to have an idea for Helvey Park?
Flashback. Months ago when they came to me about this and they
we
said.
discussed, and I've
Bridge to cross over to one side, so.
Hawthorne Park stuff.
Anything.
Like what we're doing with Wildflower, I think,
Basketball court.
this is, again,
Yeah.